Hi and welcome to the Happy Valentine's video series. This is video 7, the final video in this series. Today we're going to be creating teen Valentines using some non-traditional colors as well as some Project Life Photo Freedom Collection stamps and some candies. So let's get started. So for this first Valentine, I am going to use this particular stamp set, and we're going to use the Life is Better with Friends. And again, I'm going to incorporate items that aren't necessarily just Valentine in nature, but they'll end up looking Valentine themed when I'm done because of the colors and things that I've used. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add this little tab sticker from the True Friends collection. It says Friends and it's in a happy yellow color. We'll put that right at the top, and then I'm going to notch the ends of this Photo Freedom heart pattern paper. I want to make sure we match ends. Now if you wanted to create teenage boy Valentines, all you would need to do is incorporate colors and candies and elements and stickers that appeal to boys. So this is a sticker from the border set from the Cartabella paper, and we'll just trim it exactly along the notch. And then I'm going to go ahead and stamp the Life is Better with Friends, and I'm going to use a gray stamping ink so that it'll show up. And using a clear stamp, you can easily see where you're stamping. And there you have Life is Better with Friends. All right, now we're going to add a little bit of twine around this pennant notch that we've created. And I'm just using white crochet twine. We'll just wrap it around a few times. And then we'll tie it into a bow. Now you may need to leave a little bit of time for your ink to dry, depending on whether you're using a pigment ink or whatever ink you're using. You'll need to follow the manufacturer's instructions. Some inks dry very quickly while others stay wet for a certain period of time. So be sure you check on that before you do any of these steps. And then I think it would be fun to add a little bit of this tape. This is from Bella Boulevard. It is a nice pink tape. And I'm actually going to tape the twine down a little bit so you can start to see how this little pennant is looking. And then I purchased a set of gumballs, and it had all different colors like that you would typically find, and I just pulled out the ones that were red and pink and white. And I have a little tiny clear bag, acetate bag, and you can find these at craft stores, and just fill that up so you get it looking how you'd like. And I don't want the candy to look too matchy, so and then we will turn it over, and we're going to staple it directly to this tag, and then we'll cover the staple with the tabbed portion that we've made here. So let's go ahead and do that. So leave enough room in your candy bag so that you can staple it to the card. You can see how it's stapled. And then you'll want to use glue dots to cover those up. And if you've done what I did and placed the candy bag too high, just open up the staple on the back and restaple it. Sometimes things don't go exactly how you planned, so you can just fix it. And I want to leave enough space between the candy in the bag and where my little pennant is going to go so it lies as flat as possible on the Valentine. And then I'm going to use some glue dots so that it stays on my Valentine, because if these go in my daughter's book bag, they'll get a little bit hammered. And then we'll just center that right at the top there. And there you can see our first Valentine, Life is Better with Friends. Let's go ahead and make another Valentine. Now this is a Valentine that's not going to incorporate any kind of candy. It's just going to be a card that she could pass out to her friends, but she could also maybe use it as a tag, or this could also function as what we described in the beginning as a journaling card for when you do a layout about the event, or if you're doing Photo Freedom or Project Life System. And the stamp that I'm going to be using is from the Ali Edwards stamp set. It is the Love, Love, Love stamp set, and I used this in another project before. So if I know I'm going to be doing a lot of projects, I'll keep all of the same kinds of products out so that I can use them again later. So let's go ahead and stamp that in gray ink. Gray is a nice neutral and matches all of the colors that I wanted to use today. And you can stamp depending on what your cardstock is like, either on the textured side or the smooth side. There you can see it's a little bit faded on the textured side. Let me show you what it looks like on the smooth side. Sometimes when you have a more detailed stamp, you might prefer to stamp on the smooth side of cardstock because the little grooves in textured cardstock do not always show or take the ink very well from your stamps. So you can see it's a much cleaner stamp. All right, and then I have some die cut shapes from Pink Paisley, and I liked these arrow shapes. Arrow is a hot trend that we are seeing in scrapbooking, home decor projects, jewelry. And I'm just going to use some teeny tiny glue dots to adhere these to the card. We'll go ahead and put that one on the left side. And then we'll use this gray diagonal stripe one next to it. You can see that I'm slightly overlapping them. And then I have some American Crafts tape and I have some Bella Boulevard tape. And we'll just add a little bit of tape at the bottom. Teen girls like trendy colors and objects inspired by fashion. So look to those sources for resources or concepts or ideas that you might use. And then I think it would look good with a little bit of bling, and so I have some gems from Doodlebug Design in the gray that I'm going to go ahead and add. I think it just adds a little bit extra special look to this. So there you have another Valentine or a journaling card that you could use for Valentines and for teen girls. So let's move on to the next one. So for this next card, again, I'm just going to focus on stamping and creating something with just stamps and stickers. It'll be flat. Could function as a tag again or a journaling card, or it can be attached to a candy bar wrapped in something cute. You can do a lot of different things. We're going to use the Love Always Wins. It is a modeled kind of sponge looking sentiment from the Ali Edwards stamp set. And we're going to do this in a very soft baby blue color. And because this stamp set is already modeled, I definitely want to stamp directly onto the smooth side of the cardstock. So make sure if you use a stamp that looks like that, you're using the correct side. That's what it looks like. Now on this True Friends sticker sheet, there are two large parenthetical images. And we're going to put those on both sides of this stamp image. And you'll want to center them between the phrase, and it so happens that this phrase fits perfectly between these two shapes. I didn't plan that ahead of time, but it just worked out perfectly that way. And then I have some green washi tape from Bella Boulevard that we're going to put across the bottom. Lots of ways to use tape, and tape is great on Valentine projects. You can tape things shut, use them however you like. And then I'm going to add a little bit of the pink so it is reminiscent of the Valentine holiday. I'll just layer that right on there. And then for this one, instead of gems, I'm going to use a button. And I'm going to use a green button, and I think I'll do more than one. And I have one that's somewhat clear and one that's solid, and I'll just use crochet twine for these. And just thread them through your buttons. And then you can tie them in bows or knots depending on what you want to accomplish. I'm just going to tie this one in a knot. And then I'll tie the other one in a knot, and then we'll adhere them to our card. So look for a maybe non-traditional color theme or ways to bring in an extra color that's non-traditional on these particular projects. And I'll go ahead and finish tying these buttons and stick them on, and then I'll show you up close what it looks like. So many of the collections you may have on hand are non-themed. You can pick a color that works with Valentines or any theme that you're using, or you can mix and match elements from any of your kits to achieve the look you're looking for. So go ahead and adhere these with little dots, little glue dots. And little details make a project go from mediocre to really special. And things like twine, layering your tape. So there you have a cute little card that says, "Love always wins." All right, I'm going to make one more quick card, and then I'll show you what they look like all completed. So for this final card, I'm going to go ahead and use some more candy, and this is some pink heart-shaped candy. And again, it came in a lot of different colors, but I went ahead and just pulled out all of the light pink elements, and then I can use the darker elements for something else later. Again, remember to plan where your staple is going to be covered. I'm going to be using some of this green dot paper from the True Friends collection 6x6 paper pad. And I'm going to adhere it with glue dots just because I want it to adhere to the top of that plastic a little bit better. So go ahead and put it down on your page, and if you find that it's not sticking all the way, you can always add additional glue dots. And then I have a strip from a Dots and Stripes collection from Echo Park Paper. It is a diagonal stripe, and I have followed the diagonal and trimmed it. And then I'm going to be using the XOXO little stamp here from this Project Life stamp, available at 2Ps. And I'm just going to stamp that right on the bottom edge of this pennant. And again, I'm stamping in gray stamping ink because it just shows up a little bit better. And I'm going to attach this with glue dots again so it will stay, because I am adhering it in part on top of the plastic that's not going to lay flat if I don't. And I'm going to trim just a little bit off it. So you can see how it's starting to form. Again, using some of that Bella Boulevard tape so that my Valentines all look a little bit similar. We'll overlap both the strip and the green strip, and then I have a little green button that's tied with twine, and I'll adhere that at the top here and trim off any extra. And now let me show you what each of the cards look like. You can use some with candy, you can use some without, and just by changing up the elements, you can see that I have a really darling Valentine set that girls would love. Be sure to visit my blog for the complete supply list for creating this project. If you've missed one of the videos, visit my YouTube channel to see all 7 videos in this Happy Valentine's series.